Hello, Softa here. I hope this video finds you in a good mood, and if not, I hope I can at least improve it a little. Today I found some really interesting stories for you. So relax and enjoy this video while I play Minecraft after 5 years, gathering resources and slowly building a new world with you. The first story is, would I be the a-hole for asking my daughter's boyfriend to stop having dinner with us? My daughter of 21 years has been dating this guy which is 24 years old for 2 years. It's fairly serious. He's from Mexico and has been in the US since he was 3 years old. He has a strange phobia of not wanting anyone to see him eat, and it's real. I've literally never seen this kid put a bite of food in his mouth, despite spending a fair amount of time around him. He is thin but doesn't look unhealthy. The problem is, we'll take them out to dinner occasionally for holidays or special occasions. He always orders a full meal. He will cut up the food, push it around on the plate, but not eat any of it. Then after the meal, he will, and I quote, donate his leftovers to someone else. It's even worse when I make home-cooked meals and they come up to dinner. He does the same thing, takes a full plate of food, pushes it around, cuts it up, makes it look messed with, but doesn't eat any of it. Then he will scrape all the food into the trash can afterwards. I'm starting to get enraged over this. He wastes a horrendous amount of food, and I can't stand the money wasted when we buy him expensive restaurant meals that go completely uneaten. It's even caused a few scenes with waiters asking him what's wrong, do they need to change his order, etc. I've talked to my daughter privately and said if he doesn't want to eat, it's fine. Just tell him to stop taking plates of food and ordering in restaurants. Her response was, but in his culture it's rude for him not to take food. I'm not asking him to do that. But I find it so rude that he's willing to keep wasting our money. Food isn't cheap. Would I be the a-hole for just announcing that he's no longer invited to meals? I definitely hear you. Food isn't cheap. Obviously not in this economy that we have right now. But we get an update or sort of an edit on this post from the original poster, and it goes like this. This post absolutely blew up and I appreciate everyone weighing in on it. It's not a simple issue and hearing varying opinions on this was very valuable to me. You all made me set my frustration aside and realize that there is a much deeper issue at play here. I agree he has an eating disorder, and I had a serious discussion with my daughter earlier about these behaviors. They are absolutely abnormal, and I let her know in no uncertain terms I am very concerned about his physical and mental health. She seemed a little shocked and said she thought it was just one of his quirks. I definitely got through to her though, and she promised to address this with him privately and suggest therapy or professional help. You all may disagree with the choice, but I don't feel it was my place as the girlfriend's mom to address this very personal and painful issue with him. She and I agreed that for my part, it is okay for me to tell him that he doesn't have to feel pressured to eat with us, and it's perfectly acceptable for him to simply refuse food but still sit at the table with us. We much prefer that option instead of him wasting food. Going this route, the problem is being addressed while avoiding humiliations for him, still respecting him as a person and my daughter as well. I'm still drawing the hell no line in the sand with the food wasting, but in a loving way that isn't going to worsen any underlying trauma he is already facing. I want him to find the courage to face this and know that we are here to help and support him. I really like this story as this shows the mother's character. Nowadays you don't see often that instead of doubling down on an issue they are dealing with, they step aside, look at it from another perspective and realize that there is a bigger problem to solve. Big props to her for being a cool and understanding mother. The part with the food, I'm completely on the side of the mother. I wouldn't allow any food wasting in my house. That being said, I hope that he will get better and everything's going to be fine. I have a feeling that the next story I'm about to read to you is way crazier than the previous one. I, 21 female, found a spy camera in my room after my stepdad, 36 male, put a surveillance camera in my window. My stepdad installed a surveillance camera positioned outside of my window to scan our backyard while him and my mother and 2 younger brothers go camping. I couldn't go on the trip since I had work, so I was staying home to house it and feed our animals. My stepdad recently put up new cameras outside, so I didn't see anything wrong with him positioning one outside my window. Come to find out the very next day, I had my boyfriend stay over and he found out that the surveillance camera that was ran from outside my window and into my room was being powered by one of those spy camera power blocks. For context, my relationship with my stepdad hasn't always been the best and we tend to butt heads a lot. He said a lot of questionable things in the past that I have written off because he's my dad and I would never think he intended to be inappropriate or harmful. He's been in my life since I was 8 years old. Of course, I'm second guessing everything now that I have found this camera. It was positioned to point directly at my bedroom door from the far wall, so it has direct view of my entire room, which I changed in. I tried desperately to rationalize it and I think it was maybe a mistake, like he grabbed the wrong charger box. Or maybe he was just trying to look for intruders. But really there is no excuse for putting a camera in my bedroom. The camera even had an SD card in it. I'm beyond devastated. My stepdad even suggested I invite my boyfriend over to while they are gone, so I have someone here. Which is something he would never do, considering he's made it clear before he doesn't want him over when no one is home, because he doesn't want us to do adult stuff in his home. My boyfriend and I are going to go through the SD card to see if there is anything on it. I'm at a complete loss at how to even bring this up to my mom. I confided in my aunt and uncle since they live close by, and they have been very supportive of me having a conversation with my mom about it. This whole situation is extremely upsetting, and I at least have some family to support me as I navigate this, but I don't even know how to bring this up to my mom. This is obviously going to change everything. My mind is racing with the consequences this is going to have on our family. Has anyone that has been in a similar situation have any advice? How can I do this without causing extreme damage to our family? Although that might be impossible. Thank you in advance. I don't want to say anything about this story just yet, because we have a few updates regarding this story, so let's read them first. I went to the police station tonight and filed a police report and turned in the spy camera with the SD card. The officer said this is a serious offense and I will likely get a call early next week from an investigator due to the severity of the situation. I'm planning on telling my mother about the police report after we have a conversation about this on Monday with my aunt and uncle present. As for people messaging me about my profile, thank you for reminding me to delete my personal information. Please do not dox or try to seek any sort of justice for me, as this may affect my case. Respect my privacy during this time, please, as it may be crucial during the investigation. This was the hardest thing I ever had to do, but whatever this was, it's ending with me. I hope I can get justice for myself and any other victims who may have been violated by him, since this will be heavily investigated and the officer said it will likely be looked into further. I'm hanging on by a thread, but the support I have is what's keeping me together. I'm staying with my boyfriend tonight to keep me out of the house. Thanks again for all the love and supportive messages. I'll update again soon. Second update. It's the next morning, and once my boyfriend wakes up, we are going back to my house today to look for any more secret cameras so I can submit it for more evidence. I'm iffy about searching my parents' room for more evidence. It's like he has a hidden camera in there, so he would see me do it. Still on the fence about having a police officer search the house. If I do, I'll be sure to update after I'm finished and in a safe place. My aunt has offered me to come with me to help me search. I'm mentally and emotionally drained, but I'll be seeking resources once all of this is said and done. Update number 3. I probably won't be able to update for a few days, since today is the day that I talked to my mom, but I just wanted to share the plan I made and hopes for what happens today. After talking with my aunt, uncle, boyfriend and my cousin, who is a civil lawyer, I've decided that I will speak to my mom in a separate location from my stepdad. Most likely I will have her meet me somewhere outside of our home. I'll have my aunt with me, and this is where I'll explain everything to her. The camera, past uncomfortable experiences I've had with my stepdad that I originally brushed off because he was my dad, video footage of him deliberately setting it up and angling it, and footage of me in my room. I'm praying she understands why I had to go to my aunt instead of her, considering she was out of town and I was worried for her safety if I told her what happened. I'm hoping with my aunt there and her being away from my stepdad that I will prevent her from reacting out of anger and search for him and escalate the situation there and there. And I hope my aunt can provide some support for myself and her. I'm prepared for her to go through the same process I went through, such as reasoning and denial. But with the evidence, there is no possible way she can deny it. I'm preparing myself for the worst. I just hope that I can be strong for her and support her, as this all hits her like it did me. I will not be returning home or facing him today. My boyfriend will be on standby to pick up my brothers if needed, since my aunt has offered for them to stay with us so my mom can talk to my stepdad without them there. I'll ask my mom to meet me and of course not tell my stepdad about the circumstances. Maybe she can tell him she's going to grocery store. I don't want him to getting any hints that she could be meeting with me. Next update was after 5 days. Hi guys, I know a lot of people have been waiting for an update and what happened and about my safety. For the reasons that my post is becoming somewhat viral and showing up on all platforms, I don't think I can share many other details until this ball starts rolling with the police report. Just know that I'm safe and I have been very busy the past few days with apartment hunting, working and attempting to heal. Most of you may have guessed it, but my stepdad got to my mom before I was able to. You can kind of assume how that's been going. I promise that once the investigation actually starts and my mom finds out about it, I'll be here sharing more of what happened. I don't want to remove my post in case someone else may be going through the same thing and needs the support of you guys. I appreciate everyone rooting for me, and I'm sorry to say that my mother isn't on my side right now. I've more so been focusing on myself since the conversation and trying to make the most out of the situation. On the bright side, I have been able to hang out with my cousin and she helps me keep my mind off things. I'm doing my best and will update when it feels like the right time. Fifth update, June 18th of 2024, a year later after the incident. It's been a while. I never would have thought that my post from a little over a year ago would reach so many people, and I'm so thankful for all the support Reddit has given me. First, I apologize for taking a while to update, and I am sorry in advance if this isn't the update you were hoping or waiting for so long, but here it is. A lot of you probably want to hear that my boyfriend and I got justice for what my mother's husband did to us. I really wish I could say we did, but given our shitty police system and outside factors, we have not. I keep contact with my brothers and mom, but contact is now severely limited because of the situation. Pains me to not be able to see my younger brothers like I used to, but honestly, it isn't my choice, and I've come to accept it. My mother is still with him and continuing to isolate herself from family. Whether that's because of her husband or her own shame, I'm not sure. Maybe both. I know a lot of you are rooting for me and wishing me nothing but the best, so I'll give some updates on my personal growth. My boyfriend and I moved in together, I graduated nursing school, and I started my new job last month. We've been trying to heal from what happened and have been growing our relationship. We are planning a trip together soon. I'm still surrounded by some amazing friends and family who have been our rocks through this and helped us cope with everything. I'm at a place where I feel I can finally talk about everything again. There is a 6th update a little over a year after the 5th, but I won't be reading it because it more or less only recaps the whole story itself. I'll keep it on screen, so if you want you can pause it and read it. When I told you that the story was crazier than the previous one, I meant it. I can imagine going through something like this, especially if someone wronged you and you cannot get justice. To me, her stepdad is a complete garbage of a human being. If you spy on your own daughter or anyone else, you are such a weirdo and you should get punished accordingly. I can't believe that the police did nothing, but unfortunately, sometimes the world ain't fair. The 3rd story goes like this. Am I the a-hole for swimming topless? I, 32 female, just talked to the cops because neighbors complain about me swimming topless. I live out in the country in Manitoba, Canada. I don't live directly on a lake, but there is a public beach nearby that anyone can go to. There is a little boat ramp and some nice sand at the water's edge. I like to swim, but I prefer to skinny dip. However, because it is a public beach, I won't go totally naked. I just go topless. But I also understand that not every parent wants their children around a random lady's breasts, despite it being perfectly legal in Canada for women to be topless in public, so I usually go swimming at night. This beach does not have operation hours, so it's not against the rules or anything. One night, I was out swimming topless like I usually do, and I saw some teenagers riding their bikes on the road next to the beach. Well, I guess one of them told their parents, or maybe someone else saw me because I got a visit from the cops today. They kinda had a vibe like they knew they were here for a weird reason, but they still asked that I stop swimming topless. I told them I would think about it. They wished me a good day and left. I don't know if I'm the a-hole, because yeah, I get that it's not common to be topless in Canada, especially in smaller towns like mine, but I'm not doing anything illegal and usually no one is at the beach at night. Honestly, I'm kinda tempted to go sunbathe topless now just out of spite. So am I the a-hole? And to that I say yes and no. Yes, because you realize that it bothers people. If I had a kid, I wouldn't want him to see that. Yes, I know it is natural, but I don't think it's appropriate. At least not at the public beach. Yes, people can argue with me that she is not doing anything wrong, that it's legal, and for that I think she is not an a-hole. But honestly, it comes down to everyone else's opinion, as everyone would have a different opinion. I think this is a bit controversial topic, and everyone would have something to say. Now you have to prepare yourself, because this next story is going to be way more controversial than the previous one. My fiancé wants me to get circumcised before our wedding. We met in the summer of 2018 and got engaged last year. Although our relationship is pretty solid, she can be very hot-headed. For example, she gets upset when things don't go her way and takes it as a personal insult. It's definitely a princess syndrome that can be difficult to deal with, but it never caused serious issues. A couple of months ago, she told me that I will get circumcised before our wedding later this year. I said no, and she straight up told me that it's not a choice. We argued for a bit, and she said that I wouldn't be attracted to her if she had an outie with extra skin hanging down there. I told her that it's not really the same thing at all and that I would be attracted to her regardless. However, she got very irritated and ignored me for the rest of the evening. She has not stopped talking about this since that day. Every day she sends me articles talking about the benefits of circumcision, that it's totally healthy, safe, and why I should do this. She says that civilized men get circumcised and that we are not like those Europeans. The thing is, she is mixed race, half French, and grew up in France, so I don't understand her thought process here. Her ex was French, but she repeatedly said that she dislikes French people and wants me to be better than that. According to her, that includes getting a circumcision. Yesterday, she brought it up again, and I said that she has no right to tell me what to do with my body. She yelled that she spends a lot of time or effort into her appearance and isn't asking for much in return. While it's true, she spends a lot of money on beauty, hair, facial treatments, around $800 a month, I don't think you can compare this to a circumcision. She got very upset, calling me selfish and heartless, and basically told me to F off. Normally, when we argue, she doesn't get that heated, but I could hardly tolerate her attitude yesterday. Later that evening, we got intimate, and in the middle of it, she brought up the topic again. It felt very manipulative, and when I told her that this is not the right time, she accused me of not loving her and actually started crying. Since she rarely cries, this didn't seem genuine. She got up and told me that we will get this done either way and that I shouldn't let such a small issue ruin what we have. To be honest, that sounded ominous and I don't even know what to think of it. Is this something we can work out at all? Throughout our entire relationship, she never complained about it, and now it's a big deal to her. It's giving me anxiety about our future and I don't even know what to do. We have had so many discussions about it and it always ends the same way. There is an update to this story, but before we get to it, I will read some of the top comments that were sent to this first part. User Loverage said, "This relationship sounds hellish. I can imagine wanting to stay with someone who makes such demands and who cries during an intimacy act in an attempt to influence me. What are you doing?" To which the original poster replied, "I'll be honest, I don't know." User Leohond15 said, "Wow, this girl sounds absolutely awful. It's bad enough to try and pressure your partner to change their appearance in small ways, but she's trying to force you to get an unnecessary procedure and harping on it. Her tears were 100% manipulation. You need to tell her that you are absolutely not altering your body for her ridiculous preference, and if it bothers her that much, you will leave. And you should. There is a woman that doesn't respect your bodily autonomy and therefore doesn't respect you as a person. I honestly don't think this relationship will last, and if you stay with her, and God forbid go through with this, you are setting yourself and potential future children up for a lifetime of emotional abuse and being controlled. I have to add that I find it pretty strange she's been presumably effing you for quite some time now, and is just insisting you get circumcised now that you are about to be married." The original poster replied, "That's what I don't understand. When we first had intercourse, she didn't even comment on it. This came out of nowhere and I don't understand why she didn't bring it up earlier." To which Leo said, "Did you ask her why she suddenly feels this way? I mean, I don't think the answer will change what I think about her or that this won't last, but I'm genuinely curious." And to that the original poster replied, "I asked her but she won't give me a reason. She just says that it's her preference and something with her friend." A week later from the original post, we got an update. I don't know where to start, but I would like to thank everyone on here first. I have received countless PMs all pretty much saying the same thing. Yet, I still wanted to work out things and marry her. Then, a few days after my post, we had a huge fight. She threatened me. I won't give too many details, but it was more than enough to give me a wake-up call. And that's when I finally realized that this relationship isn't healthy or normal. I had those thoughts before, but her action that day confirmed it. Right now, I'm in the process of completely removing her from my life. That incident had a significant impact on my mental health, and at this point, I just need a long break. I have spoken to her parents in private, and they are almost begging me to rethink the whole situation. I won't. I still love her, but I couldn't do this anymore. It's a shock to the system. I went from planning my future with her to now actively cutting off everything that connects us. I read through all the comments again after the incident and they put things into perspective. Thank you again for all the advice and PMs. Honestly, I'm sort of speechless. I don't know what to say about this one. Reading this made me realize that I have the most amazing girlfriend in the world. No, not that I didn't know it already. In the end, he definitely made the right decision. Of course, it will be hard to move over her, but it is much better for him and his mental health. Hopefully someone will get some sense into that girl, because no one should have the right to tell you or even ask you to drastically change your body if it is not health related. Of course, it's preference, but being with a guy for years, being engaged, and then tell him something like this, that's just wrong. Fifth story. Am I the a-hole for refusing to keep inviting my sister after what she did at my birthday? So I, 24 female, had my birthday a couple of weeks ago and I invited my parents, my sister of 27 years, some friends and my boyfriend over. Nothing huge, just dinner and cake at my apartment. My sister has always been the type that kinda has to be the center of attention, but I usually just ignore it because everyone says that's just how she is. Well, halfway through the dinner, she starts making jokes about how my apartment looks like an IKEA display because I like everything matching. Everyone laughed a little and I laughed too because whatever. But then she kept going and started making comments about my jobs, saying at least someone has to make enough money to buy fake plants. And then she brought up something really really embarrassing from high school that I haven't thought about in years. At that point I was honestly just annoyed because it stopped feeling like jokes and more like she was trying to get everyone laughing at me. My boyfriend even changed the subject a couple of times, but she kept bringing it back. After everyone left, she texted me saying I was acting weird all night, and I told her yeah, because she wouldn't stop making fun of me. She said I was being dramatic and that nobody else had a problem with it. Fast forward to now, and my mom asked if my sister is coming to a barbecue I'm hosting next month, and I said no. I don't really want her there if she's just gonna spend the whole time taking shots at me. Now my mom is upset, saying I'm creating family drama over a few jokes, and my sister says I'm punishing her for nothing. Part of me feels like maybe I should just let it go because it was only one night, but also I don't really want to spend another event waiting for the next comment. Am I the a-hole for not inviting her this time, or am I making too big of a deal out of it? No, not the a-hole. As a younger brother, I know sometimes those comments can get under your skin, but you shouldn't just stop inviting her to everything. I know it can be frustrating, but what I learned is much better to almost like get used to it to the point that it doesn't bother you anymore. Because in the end, those are just words of someone else. Live your own life. You don't have to prove anything to anyone. Just be yourself. Story number 6. I, 30 female, just found my fiancé, 30 male, on an online dating site. What do I do? My fiancé and I have been together a year and a half. We moved in with one another a few months ago. Lately he has been a bit distant. I've been cheated on in the past and have been really insecure with his change in behavior. He has assured me he's just stressed about work, and because his car broke down a couple of weeks ago, he hasn't gotten a replacement yet. I couldn't let the nagging feeling go, so I did a little investigating. I didn't snoop in his phone or personal accounts, but I made a fake profile on a popular dating site and I found him there. He was last online the 1st of July. I don't know what to do. How do I confront him? What do I even say? Can our relationship be saved? Or do I even want to save it? I feel like I'm a wreck right now. Further investigating is leading me to believe that it's an older profile. The pictures are not recent and I can positively date 8 out of 9 of them to before our relationship started. The last one I'm not so sure. I think that means hacking or signing in to try and delete the profile is a little more plausible. I don't think that this is enough to break up over, so I guess it's time to either confront or catfish. I will post an update to let you all know the outcome, whatever that may be. The story pauses here for a little bit, but we do have an update. But before that, let's read some of the top comments. User hoping to thrive said, don't marry someone who is still out there dating unless you are okay with an open relationship. If you confront him, he will say it belongs to a friend, it was just a joke, or I forgot I even had it. Test him out on the website and see if he is really active or if it really does belong to someone else. Original poster replied, I think that's what I'm going to do. I texted an old high school friend he has never seen pictures of to ask if I could use hers for my profile. User Unredeemed was suggesting a different approach. Don't listen to people saying you should catfish him. That's very immature. Print out the profile and ask him to explain. His reaction will tell you what you need to know. If someone is using his photo online, he'll be shocked and horrified. If it is actually him, he'll be uncomfortable, evasive, or give you a BS excuse. Then you can leave him. To which the original poster replied, I am 100% sure it's him. All the interests and favorite food, movies and music plus life aspirations match. I just don't know when he made that profile because none of the recent pictures match. Honestly, I completely agree with user Unredeemed because I do really think that catfishing is immature even if you suspect that your partner is cheating on you. I will sum it up a little bit for you. Basically, the original poster decided that she is going to catfish his partner on the dating app. But she noticed that his profile after she messaged him on this dating app got deleted. And now we get a full update after 4 days later. A few hours after I set the bait, I found that his profile had been deleted. When he came home from work, I showed him the screenshot and asked him what's up. Long story short, he was hanging out with his coworker and the coworker was frustrated with figuring out how to navigate the same dating site. My fiancé signed into his old account open in 2013 to try to help his friend figure it out. Apparently a lot had changed on this particular site and he realized that his knowledge on this site was too out of date. So he logged out and that was it. A few days later, he saw in his email that he had gotten a message from a woman on the site and he then deleted his account. He obviously couldn't show me his dating site account since it was deleted, but he did volunteer to show me his email account with all the alerts from the site. The only woman that had messaged him recently was clearly my fake account. He also realized when we were looking through his email that he had an unused old profile on another dating site. He signed in and deleted that one in front of me. I confessed about catfishing him. He wasn't upset at all, said he understood completely considering my history. He was more upset with himself for not realizing that his behavior would make me so insecure. I apologized for not trusting him and catfishing. He apologized for being so distant lately and not deleting his dating profiles ages ago. He offered an open phone, social media, email policy between us in case we ever stumble across another trust by verified type of situation. When I first read this story, I was not expecting such an ending. More so, I was thinking that there would be a breakup between them because she found out that he's cheating. But I was pleasantly surprised. Not only did they figure it out and stay together, but this story shows us something really important. Communication is key. Props to boyfriend for not getting mad on her for catfishing. Some people in the comments were saying that this is not happy ending at all, because now they have a policy that they can both look through each other's phones, mails and etc. I don't get why we would have the right to criticize that. They are the ones in a relationship after all, and they both agreed on it. If we have a different opinion on something, that's because we are not the same people. So let them be happy together and don't unnecessarily spread hate. The next story goes like this. Am I the a-hole for asking my boyfriend not to stick chopsticks upright in his rice? I'm Japanese, 40 female, and in my culture, sticking chopsticks upright into a bowl of rice is considered disrespectful, because it's traditionally done at funerals or as an offering to the deceased. Today, at home, my boyfriend, 36 male, who is a non-Japanese, stuck his chopsticks vertically into his rice. I politely told him that it's considered disrespectful in my culture and asked if he could lay them across the bowl instead. He immediately said it was silly and refused, saying they would fall off. I told him they wouldn't, but then he said he wasn't eating Japanese food, so it didn't matter. I explained that it isn't about the food, it's about how the chopsticks are placed. He responded that we are not in Japan and that he wasn't changing what he was doing because he thought it was silly. I calmly said I was only asking for a small favor out of respect for my culture. He then sharply replied, "Fine, I'll just use forks from now on." So I took the chopsticks away and handed him a fork. What upset me was how he immediately dismissed my request as silly instead of making such a small accommodation. I got quite angry and said, "You are just like all the other white people who love anime and collect figures but don't actually care about Japanese culture." He was shocked by that and later told me I was petty, cynical and intentionally trying to hurt his feelings. I gave an example of how whenever I have dinner with him and his family, they say grace before eating. I am not religious and I didn't grow up doing that, but I do it anyway because I know it's meaningful to them. He responded that religion and culture aren't the same thing. He also told me that during couples counseling, our counselor said we shouldn't have expectations of each other. I told him that's not why I was upset. I'm not angry because he didn't meet an expectation I had. I'm upset at how he immediately dismissed my request as silly and refused to make such a small gesture out of respect for my culture. So, am I the a-hole for asking him not to put chopsticks upright on rice since we are not living in Japan? Honestly, I think that the boyfriend chose a really childish way to deal with the situation. There is an update, so let's read it. Thank you to everyone who took the time to read my post and leave a comment. A lot of the points you raised were valid, and reading your perspectives has helped me to see the situation from a different angle. To clarify what I meant, what confused me was that he says he loves Japan, the anime and the food, but doesn't seem interested in learning about its culture and customs. It just felt strange to me that someone who claims to love Japan wouldn't also want to understand or respect the cultural practices that are an important part of it. My boyfriend has also apologized to me for how he handled that situation. We are both at work right now, so we'll be talking in person later. This has been a learning experience for me as well. I realized that there are things I need to work on, especially with how I communicate, and I appreciate those of you who pointed it out. My priority now is to have a conversation with my boyfriend and try to resolve things together. I hope that they worked it out, because I really think he acted childish. Using as an argument that culture and religion is a different thing, when she literally accepted it and does the grace with you even though she is not religious, and then something as easy as not putting your chopsticks upright the rice because it is disrespectful toward someone's culture in which that person was raised her whole life, that is disrespectful. I wouldn't think it is that much of a big deal if she literally didn't tell him the real meaning, but he knew and still insisted that he won't stop. The reason why I'm reasoning this as my point is because a seemingly small thing like this can cause something much deeper, but I may be wrong, who knows. I'm telling you, this next story is going to be another banger. After 10 years of marriage, is it over? Possible cheating? You tell me. I need to know if you think she's cheating. We've been married over 10 years. I'm 46 and she's 48. About 5 years ago we split up for like a month. gave each other permission to see someone else, and without permission I did for like 2 months. But I decided I need to put the family back together for everyone, or at least do my part and try. So 5 years later it's been up and down. Mostly down, I would say. Now, this is not my imagination. I swear to God, I am blamed for every single thing on earth. Nothing is her fault. When relationship stuff comes up, for example, like us not talking for a week, it's my fault and she says she did nothing wrong, even though she also didn't say anything. I bring up the fact that 2 people are involved. Nope, always my fault. When things are better, I will sometimes do basic stuff like give a hug or maybe a quick kiss, or sit next to her on the couch. When I hug her, she pushes me away telling me alright, I'm busy. Kiss, pull back with a disgusted look on face. I say I love you. Never said it in return. I ask if I can talk about something important. She says I don't have 30 seconds. I ask literally any questions about our relationship and get complete silence. She looks at her phone while I talk. I ask nicely if she could please put her phone down and pay attention because it's important. Nope. I ask things like, do you care? Hello? Can I get a response please? I get, what? Like she has no idea what I am asking for. Oh gosh, this hurts and I'm the one only reading it. Yeah, so anyway, like 8 years ago I found a chat she had online with some random guy. It never went anywhere, but she told the guy she was single with 1 kid and she has 2 kids. I showed it to her and she apologized. Wasn't an issue after that. I am kind of naturally paranoid and have sometimes thought she was cheating, but never found any evidence and realized it's just my own mind. Brother, it's not your own mind. Last night everything was great. It was like we were actually married again, I thought. I asked her to sit next to me and she goes, I'm fine right here. I'm like, okay, but I let it go. The day before it was her birthday and I made sure me and our younger son made a big deal out of it. So last night again we are sitting on a bench and everything is great. I say happy 4th of July, I love you, and gave her a real quick kiss. She had a disgusted look on her face. I waited for her to say I love you, but she didn't. So I jokingly said it again, nothing. One more time, nothing. I said really? And she said yeah, really. This is getting so much harder to read. About 15 minutes later I asked her, so what's the problem? Why do you not like me? It's like you can't stand me at all. No response. I kept asking and no response. Finally she said, I don't know, clearly no thought put into it at all. That was it. I decided right there, she doesn't care about this at all. So I asked, are you seeing somebody else? She looked surprised and said, did you see me with someone else? I said, no, but just because I don't physically see it doesn't mean it's not happening. She said, I bet you're the one that's cheating. Oh my god, your wife is a professional victim. God damn. And I said, I cannot hug you, I cannot kiss you, and I cannot touch you in any way at all without you acting like it's the worst thing in the world. I thought things were getting better, weren't they? And I got no response. So I'm thinking if I have any reason to believe she's seeing someone else. She's been coming home late more often, not that much, but more often. I get the feeling she's just stringing me along until this time comes up and then she's out. Oh yeah, and last night I finally did get an answer to why she can't stand me. After I asked and begged like for 15 minutes for any response at all, I think it's a BS answer given to justify her hidden actions, but she said, well, 5 years ago you got with that girl. You think I'm just gonna get over it? This has never been mentioned before. At that time, she is well aware we split up and had to go ahead and see other people. I reminded her of that. I also reminded her that if this was a problem, I would have liked to have known about it. I have only asked what the problem is like, I don't know, 100 times or so, and never heard this one before. Then there was some BS about like, you always says that's it, I'm done, and cut off the conversation. I asked for a single example of that. There was no response. I said, I don't do that. In fact, I'm the one who tries to start the conversations and am given total silence every single time. It's simply not true. So now we aren't talking. I tried to talk, I begged to talk, but it's pointless. So what do you guys think is going on? Another guy? Or are we finished? Whew, man, you are beyond finished. Leave her. Like right now. I don't know if I have ever read a harder story than that. I feel so bad for that guy. Obviously, I don't know the circumstances between them. I personally wouldn't ever even allow an open relationship. I just don't believe in that. But it seems they both agreed on it at the time. This is crazy. Even if she's not cheating, the way she treats you, nah. Peg her backs. Well, that's all the stories for now. By the way, I built my first shelter today. I definitely won't become a real life designer, but it will do for now. If you watched until now, thank you so much and see you next time.